Welcome to the Pro Build 360 podcast. Welcome Matt Harthill, Head of Wellbeing and Mental Health at Lyndon SGB. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, my name's Matt Harthill. My nickname is George, by the way. That's an old scaffolding name back in the day. And everybody who works at Birmingham branch know me as George. I work for Lyndon SGB 18 years now. And I've been there 18 years. And I've been in the construction game 22 years. Before that, I was in the army about 6 years. No, just over 6 years in the Staffordshire Regiment, very proud regiment, local West Midlands regiment. And for most of my life, not so much now as you can tell, I used to do martial arts from when I was 7. And I've done lots of different types. Muay Thai, I've been to Thailand, did some training, and I had my last fight in a cage doing Muay Thai, K1, when I was 41. I'm 45 now, so...
Fair to say you're a man's man, yeah?
Whatever that's meant to be.
You're a lad, yeah?
Yeah, that's what it was
man.
back in the day, yeah.
Good man. Yeah. I want to get stuck in a little bit later on the similarities around the subject of mental health regards careers like the military, construction, driving, agriculture. These seem to be... Yeah. Is it fair to say they're men's issues, would you say?
I think
I know that we're trying to get women into construction, kind of stuff.
I think they're all issues for everybody, but I think what it is, especially within construction, we've never spoken about it because, like you were saying, a man's man, whatever. Same
in the military.
Same as the military as well, yeah. But see, my experience with the military was good, and it was, and a lot of good friends in there, and that was great. But you don't. It's not just military. It's the time when we used to grow up. We didn't speak about things. I'm from an age where I was brought up that you never cry.
Do you think it's a British thing?
Some part of it. It's a culture thing.
Stiff upper lip.
Yeah, it's a culture.
Used to be called a stiff upper lip.
Yeah.
And then does that sort of, if extrapolated to its extremes, become a bit of just bottling it up in a toxic way?
I mean, all of it can be toxic ways. I think a lot of it is from lots of stuff, but it's a culture thing. It's how many times, like back in the day, you used to say whatever goes on at home stays at home. You don't talk about it, and that causes problems there. And when we're growing up and when we're doing what we do, that's if you're taught from a young age, don't cry, stop crying. That's what this is. You don't do that. You're being indoctrinated. Is that the right word? Into being a certain way.
Yeah.
So you think I've got to be this way. Boys don't cry, men don't cry. And then you come into it, so you got no one to talk to, and then that goes into everything. So that was into me before I even joined the army or come into construction.
Yeah.
I was taught never to do that. I was an angry young man, if I'm honest, when I was younger.
Do you think, just to play devil's advocate, do you think that there is an element, whilst it might come out and be expressed in and have negative results, do you think that there is a reason for it, and that in some ways men aren't meant to cry, that there is supposed to be a strength? Just to play devil's advocate.
No, I get what it is. I'm still, like, even now, so I cry now, and I don't cry at everything. I do.
Well,
I cry.
We'll have a hug and have a cry later.
Yeah, mate, I watched, what was it, a Man Called Otto the other week.
A Man Called Otto?
With Tom Hanks. Well, guys, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah.
And my son, who was lying on the sofa at the time, thought I was laughing at the part. I remember him looking up to have a look at me. And he went, it's because I was having a little cry about it. And he went, oh, all right then. But what I'm saying, is it not masculine to cry? I think it is, being able to show your emotions. I'm still the same man as what I was saying before.
Depends what you're crying at, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's where it comes from.
I think that there are rules for men. It's not that men can't cry or men shouldn't cry or men don't cry. It's there are rules to what are acceptable cries. So if you're crying because you broke a nail, if you're crying because you did a 8-hour work day, or you're crying because, let's say, I don't know, like your goldfish died or something. There's limits, right?
I get what you're saying, but no, it's all an individual thing, isn't it? It's like, with this where mental health comes into anything, it's also understanding our frame of reference, how we're in the world. Me and you could have went through exactly the same thing, right? Exactly the same. Yeah,
some men are tougher.
I get it. But it's not even about. It's just some things. But all of a sudden, your brain will just go bump now, and nobody knows why that is. It's all when I talk about my story.
It can be the camel that broke the straw's back.
I know
the straw that broke the camel's back. It can seem like something little, and it can just cause the breakdown of what was built up.
It's like when like we'll go on to my story in a bit. Everything in my life was going great. you know. And if I talk to you about my past and growing up, that wasn't so great. But I thought my mental health, I'd be able to deal with it a lot better than what I did when it's not, no, that's wrong. I was dealing with life great. It's just some things happened, and all of a sudden my brain just went, and I don't know why, no.
I don't know.
And I didn't cry at all, because I was taught, men don't do that. And I'm not saying crying would have stopped it, but me talking about stuff would have stopped it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm trying to get here? And crying, it's whatever our own view and crying is. It's like, I heard what you're saying there about these, but it doesn't matter. If I'm upset, if I'm sad, I should be able to express that. If I'm happy, I should be able to express it. The difference is, with most men, we don't know how to express anything. What we're really good at expressing is anger, because we've been taught that.
CITB's CEO Tim Balcon saying that 2 construction workers take their life every day.
Yeah.
73% of builders experience mental health problems. 92% say they do not feel comfortable talking about mental health issues. And then we've got top 10 causes. So why don't you talk to us, since you're the expert? How do you see these interpreted into your work?
Well, you know, like like every day, this is what we know of. So every day, 18 people die by suicide. Right?
In the UK?
In the UK, 18 people. Out of that 18, 12 are men.
Yeah.
Out of that 18, 2 who work within construction. Out of that 18, 1 child within school age dies by suicide every day. Now, these are people, guys. You know, that's 6,749 people a year, that is. And it has gone up. Mm-hmm. And as everybody, do you think you probably, possibly, I'm going to ask you, do you think there's more than 2 people within construction who die by suicide?
I would guess so.
I guess so.
Why is that? Why is that what we're getting reported?
Because that's people.
I think that sounds ridiculously low.
But I think it's way too high as it is. I think one person's.
Yeah, I think it sounds low compared to what I would have expected.
Yeah. Because it's what, but this is people where we know it was suicide, but it could be not everyone we know is suicide, and people are getting it more documented now. But there's lots of different reasons.
And also, where do you draw the line between someone that's in construction?
Well,
what's the definition of that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, so many people, and again, this comes back to one of the things about construction is the low barrier to entry, low or no barrier to entry. Yeah. So there's people that are like not even sole traders; they're just like lads that are the local handyman who can build your front wall if someone's crashed into it, and that are they considered in construction? They're not in the statistics, but those are like really,
everybody's, because all these people, it's been documented and put it there. But you know what I mean. It's not like, it's not just somebody who's doing what they're doing, but this is all real. But what getting me about all of this is when we're talking about it, these are still people, and that's what we shouldn't be. We should be trying to have a look at how we can change this. Because the rise of it is them top 10 causes there, the cost of living, the rise in the cost of materials, finances, tension with customers, doing the best job you can for a customer, job security, tension with suppliers, risk of catching COVID, making mistakes at work, and what's the last one? Too much work.
Yeah, too much work.
Yeah. So have we all worked in construction? Sorry. Have we all, yeah.
So I was a heating engineer. I've been on with the ground workers, brickies, plasterers, but mainly a heating engineer.
So all of them there, they've always been parts of the problems, ain't they? Yeah. Apart from the COVID, I think.
Yeah.
But that's always been there.
That's standard. That's par for the course in construction. Yeah.
But how many of us, when stuff's going too much, do we talk about that? Because I think this is where we have to talk about it all. We're talking just about men here, are we? If we're talking about men as a whole won't talk. Who do they talk to when, let's say, they're having financial trouble? Who do they go to?
This is a problem.
Yeah, why don't we talk? Why don't we talk?
Taking that point about finances, right? So number one, men, you're right, won't talk about it to each other because they feel embarrassed or ashamed that they're not, doing well, whatever else. So I think number one point to pick up there is, and this has been talked about for a decade, or at least since I was in school. Where's the financial education in schools? Yeah, they are. Totally where's secondary school financial education to tell kids how to start young, save, and manage the domestic day-to-day stuff. How does tax work? Yeah, these sorts of things.
You're right. We need better play. There's a great place in Leeds called the Hunslet Club.
Hunslet.
Yeah, call it a youth centre. It's giving it a disservice. It's been going since 1942. Yeah. I'm just bringing this up because what you were saying there. So, a lot of people don't really help a lot of the youth of today, do they?
No.
And these Hunslet Club, they do everything. So when they do youth clubs, but they do boxing, martial arts, dancing, theatre, textile. They do lots of rugby, football. They do everything there. But what they also do is, do you know when you got the naughty children? Well, I don't like saying naughty because I was probably one of them. You know, the ones who wasn't following the normal curriculum of school.
Yeah.
So what they do, instead of just letting them walk around the school, they have them at this place and they teach them how to strip cars, work the engines, get
absolutely
plastering.
glorious.
But they do that in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
That's been going since 1942, these
Has
places.
it?
Yeah. And look at it. Look, and you just think, why can't we have all that? That would help all of this, what you're saying there, because they would teach them all these finances and everything like that.
I feel like politics today has really polarised people. Polarised people, and you've got people now in corporate construction, big sites. You know, if you, particularly in the city, and that's another subject I want to come on to, is in the city, you've got. This is one of the most multicultural countries in the world, right? One of the most tolerant countries in the world. One of the most the least racist countries in the world. But you've got now, since 1997, I mean, we're at 600,000 net migration, right? The cities are changing demographically, and when you've already got the pressures of, let's say, someone that's come to this country, come 1,000 miles to this country, they're starting at the bottom. They've got lots of pressures on themselves, right? You've got British people born here, and they're in construction. They may well be struggling themselves. You put them all together in dangerous circumstances, dangerous occupation, highly tense environment. Sometimes there's language barriers, that kind of stuff. I've been on sites where the pressure cooker is the perfect analogy. It's not. It's like a bomb waiting to go off sometimes, and that must be affecting.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, that we all need to get together and talk and understand about cultures, and this is where it comes in. And I've been on sites like I'm not blind, certain sites aren't all the same, but I've been on certain sites where they do things to get us all together to talk. Lend-Lease, they do some great work, they do.
Our size...
They do some great stuff, honestly.
Yeah, this looks incredible.
Mate, this is amazing, this place, honestly.
Yeah.
And I always bring it up because I think it's amazing. I went there and delivered a youth 2-day MHFA course there for the instructors.
MFH?
Mental Health First Aid.
Mental Health First Aid.
Yeah, I did a 2-day youth course for them there because
Fantastic.
I'm an instructor for MHFA England, and I'm an instructor for Suicide First Aid as well, and Assist, which is applied suicide intervention skills training.
So let's
a bit of knowledge.
So on that point, let's try and do something. Let's try and come out of this with something good done, practically speaking. So let's say right now you've got our whole audience in front of you, right? Give us the headlines, give us the bullet points, give us
mental health first aid.
Mental health first aid.
So we got physical first aid, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, is anybody a physical first aider?
I have been mindful now.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you're a physical first aider. Does that make you a nurse?
No.
Doctor?
No.
Did it get you to stitch up?
No.
No. You had to think then, didn't you? I was like,
depends on the circumstances. But...
So what I'm saying is, what it does, it teaches you to see a situation, contain it, give it to professionals. That's what mental health first aid does.
Right.
Yeah? It doesn't make you a therapist. It doesn't make you a doctor. It doesn't get you any diagnosis. You can't diagnose. It's nothing about that. It's about you seeing a situation, containing it, and getting the professionals. And it's about setting up boundaries as well. My thing about mental health first aid is, I think anybody should have a bit of knowledge about what mental health truly is. So mental health, if I spoke to anybody in here, I asked you to tell me what mental health is. Yeah, I'll ask you now, right? So mental health, what's that to you? When you hear the words mental health, what's that?
What condition your emotional and mental state are in, such that you can get up and do what you've got to do to get on with your life functionally and healthily.
Brilliant, yeah.
I mean, that's a bit of a circular definition because I've used the word mental and health in there. But
so when
what condition is your mind in? Are you okay?
What other words come to your mind when you hear the words mental health? What other?
Sadness, depression.
Okay.
Or the opposite, like joy and
that's where I'm getting at.
Positive, social interaction and healthy.
This is it. So most people, we automatically go to that when we say mental health. Yeah, which is, but it's a spectrum. Your mental health is also when you get out of bed. Yeah, in the morning you're feeling great, come into work. That's your mental health.
Yeah.
And it's also your mental health is also when you get out of bed and you've got out the wrong side of bed. You're having a crap day, but that's not poor mental health or a mental illness. It just means you're having a bit of a bad day. But that's what I'm trying to understand. That's what mental health is. It's about getting us to understand that. Because a lot of people, when we hear the words mental health, you go, I ain't got that. That's what people say.
Yeah.
But it's about, that's where mental health first aid comes in. But it's about looking after yourself as well. It's about self-care. It's not just, because even when I deliver these courses, I say to them, let's say you don't want to do it for anybody else. Do it for yourself. Look after yourself. How many of us do look after ourselves?
Well, it is something that, again, coming back to my old man, one thing that he always taught me is that whoever you love in this world, if you want to be their hero, if you want to be there for them, if you want to provide for your kids the way that you want, you have to take care of yourself first. You have to do what's right, because if you run yourself into the ground by not checking on what you need to succeed, not just in your career, but I suppose this is another element, is checking, are you all right? Are you operating at your best potential? Then you're going to be useless to them too.
Of course it is. This is it.
So when you say for yourself, that's not in a selfish way.
It's not selfish. You've got to look after yourself, isn't it? You've got to. But you have got to be selfish in that way, because it's like that analogy. So, if we're on an airplane, the oxygen mask come down.
Yeah.
Whose oxygen mask do we put on first?
The kids.
Right.
Yeah. You put on yourself first.
Yeah, you have to put your own on first, and you help the kids.
That's what they say, isn't it? They say put your things on before you help.
Yeah, because you'll pass out.
I don't know if I don't know how well I'd do that. I'd immediately, I think I'd be.
Yeah, I know. I get it, because when we talk about our babies, I'd do anything for our babies. But
it'd be instinctive, wouldn't it? It'd be like.
But if you pass out, you can't put it on your kids. You ain't going to help your kids, are you?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I suppose.
And it's exactly what your dad was saying to you.
Take care of yourself, and then.
But that's what the mental health. That's what it calls it. But it's also just get anybody a bit of knowledge. You haven't got to go on just learning about what it is, about being able to talk.
Here's another one for you. Having someone, we mentioned kids, and this comes under that category. But my nan, it seems instinctive to her. Like, she doesn't get tired of life. Like, she's 84, going on 80. Is she 85 yet? She's in her mid-80s, right? Beautiful. And she, like, if you just ask her, like, something like, tell us about the time that you went to Rimini, your first holiday away, like, in Italy with that. Like, were you telling me about that before? Just that's all it takes. Then you've got 3 hours of her giving you jokes. Tell me about when you and your friend, when you were little, you used to have the air raid shelter. You put a sign up and it said the ranch, and you and your little girlfriend was married to Roy Rogers and Jean Aubrey. You've got like 3 hours of storytelling there. Now, I always wondered with my nan, why is it that she's just so like, she doesn't waver, right? And she was a nurse. And her and my late grandfather, it was about service of other people. Now, your children are one example of that, but it doesn't have to be your children. For me, also, looking after my nan now. Like, I've got to look after my nan, and I try to go as many times in the week after work as I can. And like that, I leave there, and it's like, I could be leaving the office at 8 o'clock, go around there and have an hour and a half with her. But I leave there feeling a million times better, because I've made that old lady that gave me everything, gave me her life. I've made her have a nice end to her day, rather than sitting there alone. Serving other people's a massive one. Because that's what you're meant to do. I think that the devil creeps in when you get depressive, when you get into a depressive hole. That's the devil creeping in, and it becomes about you. Yeah. It's you. It's my feelings. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to talk about your feelings or whatever else, but the best way to get out your feelings is to get in someone else's feelings. Go and make someone laugh. Yeah. Go take the missus to a club and go dance with her. Yeah. Like, what kind of music you like?
Everything, mate. Obviously, I like rock music. Looking like this. Nirvana was my band.
Nirvana. You like the grunge.
Mate, I've been listening to what was it? I'd have to put it up some cello.
Yeah. No, I love the blues. I love like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. I love everything. I like the same as you. I love those kind of music. Get either a mate, get your missus, get a kid, whatever. Go somewhere with some music. Music's a great way to push it out. It just pushes everything out. If you're struggling, take the time to talk to someone. And if life's good at the minute, take the time to talk to someone.
Give somebody 4 minutes. Mate, there's so much great stuff out there. And when we're in it, though, we think we're alone. Just reach out, man. Somebody will help. And even if it is a negative response, people will still look out for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people will say the wrong things.
Yeah.
But as long as you're coming from this, you're never going to wrong, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, good, man.
Good, man.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming today.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.